Assalamu alaikum students. This is mathematics grade 2, and today we are continuing our unit number 10 geometry, and this is grade 3, and today's topic is solid shapes. Firstly, there is a declaration. We hereby declare that all the animations videos in this lesson are not our property, and all the rights are reserved with the concerned parties. The sole purpose of the included videos is basically non-profit and totally for education. Thank you. Firstly, let us see what are the students' learning outcomes for today's lesson. By the end of this lesson, we will be able to identify solid shapes as real three-dimensional objects having certain features in terms of faces, corners, edges. Secondly, will be able to recognize the standard geometric figures such as cube, cuboid, sphere, cone, and cylinder. And thirdly, we will be able to relate the solid figures with different objects in our surrounding. So firstly, let us see what are solid shapes. For this, I'm going to show you a video. Watch this video carefully, and after this video, I will ask some questions regarding this video, and we will reinforce the core concepts discussed in this video. So firstly, watch this video.
Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Ah. 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 Hmm. Oh. Ah. Hmm. Ah. Ah.
Students, you have watched this video. So here we will reinforce the shown concepts one by one. So firstly, let us see what are solid shapes. Basically, the shapes that occupy space are called solid shapes. Solid shapes are made up of faces, edges, and corners called vertices. Many of the objects in our surrounding can be associated with these solid shapes. What are the basic solid shapes? These are the cube, cuboid, cone, sphere, and cylinder. Each solid shape has certain number of faces, edges, and corners. So, firstly, let us see what are the face, edge, and vertex of a solid shapes. Here we have a solid shape. This is a cube. So, firstly, let us see what is a face. A face is the surface of the solid shape. Here we can see the face, which is a flat face of the cube, and edge is a basically the point is a two where two faces meet each other. That is called an edge. Here you can see the two faces meet to form an edge. Similarly, vertex is a point where three edges meet. They form a corner called vertex. So three things that are common among all solid shapes is basically one face, second is the edge, and third is the vertex. Face, again we will see what is a face. Face is the surface of the solid shape. Edge is a basically is formed when two faces of a solid shape meet, and vertex is a corner basically, and it is formed when three edges meet each other to form a corner. Now let us see what is a cube. So for a cube, I'm showing you a video. Watch this video carefully, and after this, we will ask some questions and again reinforce the core concepts. So firstly, watch this video.
क्यूब ले लेते हैं। ये क्यूब है, इसकी 4 साइड्स बराबर हैं, ठीक है। आर ऑल बराबर है चारों साइड इसकी। इसके अंदर क्या क्या चीजें हमें देखने को मिलती हैं दोस्तों? सबसे पहले हम इसके अंदर देखते हैं कॉर्नर्स, जिसको हम वर्टेक्स बोलते हैं। कितनी वर्टेक्स हैं इसके अंदर दोस्तों? गौर कीजिएगा, इसमें जो हमारे पास कॉर्नर नजर आ रहे हैं, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 और एक कॉर्नर पीछे की तरफ आएगा। मैं उसको डॉटेड लाइन से बना देता हूं अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए। और दोस्तों ये बन जाएगा 8th वर्टेक्स और 8th कॉर्नर। इस तरीके से हम यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं कि एक स्टैंडर्ड क्यूब में हमारे पास 8 कॉर्नर्स होते हैं और 8 ही वर्टेक्स होते हैं, जिसको हम कॉर्नर बोल रहे हैं। कितने एजेस होते हैं, इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, देख लेते हैं एजेस कितने होते हैं दोस्तों। सबसे पहले बता देते हैं एजेस बोलते किसको है। जैसे हमने बताया था, ये वर्टेक्स होती हैं। एजेस होते हैं ये वाले, ये शार्प एजेस जिनसे ये बना हुआ है। कितने एजेस होते हैं काउंट करेंगे दोस्तों। गौर कीजिए, आपके अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए बता दूं यहाँ पर कितने एजेस हैं दोस्तों, काउंट कर लेते हैं। यहाँ पर एजेस होंगे 1 2 3 4, ठीक है। नीचे भी 1 2 3 4 और साइड के 1 2 3 4। टोटल यहाँ पर देखा जाए तो यहाँ पर 12 एजेस हैं, ठीक है। कैसे कैसे? ऊपर के 4 हैं, ठीक है, नीचे के 4 हैं और साइड की शेप के 4 हैं। टोटल मिला के कितने हुए? 12 हुए। 12 एजेस हमने बना दिए। और आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं क्या क्या चीजें हैं। फेस कितने हैं इसके दोस्तों? फेस की जब हम बात करते हैं तो हम ये जो एक पर्टिकुलर, जैसे ये वाला जो साइड है, देखिए इसका एक कंप्लीट एक फेस, एक फेस दोस्तों ये देखिए, ये कहलाता है, ये एक फेस हो गया, ठीक है, जो एक स्क्वायर शेप में आ रहा है। ऐसे कितने फेसेस हैं गौर कीजिएगा। ऊपर देखिए एक टॉप दिख रहा है, ठीक है, तो ऊपर एक फेस निकलता है, यहाँ पर लिख लेते हैं हम, जैसे हमने बनाया था प्लस। नीचे देखिए, जैसे ऊपर से हमने ये देखा, नीचे से देखेंगे तो भी हमें एक फेस दिखता है प्लस। साइड से देखेंगे तो हमें 4 फेस दिखते हैं, 4 स्क्वायर्स दिखते हैं, ठीक है। एक यहाँ से, एक यहाँ से, एक यहाँ से और एक पीछे की तरफ से, 4 स्क्वायर्स दिख गए। टोटल कितने कितने फेस हुए? फेस हुए दोस्तों टोटल 6। यहाँ पर हम लिख देते हैं कि टोटल नंबर ऑफ फेस एक क्यूब में हमें 6 देखने को मिलते हैं। तो ये 3D शेप की अंडरस्टैंडिंग मैंने आपको बताई, जहां पर हमने कॉर्नर और वर्टेक्स की अंडरस्टैंडिंग ली, एजेस देखे कितने होते हैं और फेसेस देखे कितने होते हैं। अब अंडरस्टैंडिंग तो हमने बना ली। अब मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि 3D शेप में ये तीनों चीजें 3D शेप की बैकबोन होती है। हर जगह यही तीनों चीजें लगभग आपके सामने आती हैं, आपसे पूछी जाती हैं, बट इन तीनों शेप से ही 3D शेप फॉर्मेशन।
Yes, students, you have watched this video. Now we will continue our lesson further. So firstly, we will formally initiate our solid shapes with the cube. Look at the given figure carefully. Here is a cube, and firstly answer the following questions regarding this cube. How many faces does a cube has? Here you have seen that a cube is having 6 faces. How many edges does a cube has? A cube has 12 edges, and you have seen in the previous video. Similarly, how many vertices does a cube has? A cube has 8 vertices. And which faces are equal in a cube? All faces are equal in size. And which is the shape of each face? What is the shape of each face? All faces are perfect squares. So basically, this is the cube, and we can find examples of cube in a real life. For example, dice, which is used in Ludo, is a very good example of cube. Similarly, the cubic puzzle is also example of cube. Similarly, the ice cubes, the alphabetic cubes, your gift pack are mostly cubic, and the aquarium can also be cube in your home. So next we will see what is a cuboid. Cuboid is slightly different from the cube. It is almost a cube, but difference is that only opposite faces are the same, not all the same. So it is just an elongated form of a cube. Very much the edges, corners, faces are all number are same. What is the difference? We will see. So here is a cuboid. Firstly, let's see how many faces does a cuboid has. We can see that we have having 1, 2, 3, 4, and top 5, 6. So a cuboid is having 6 faces, just like we have seen in a cube. Similarly, how many edges does a cuboid has? Um, Basically, we have seen that when two faces meet each other, they form an edge. So here we can see that two faces meet each other, form one, here 2, 3, 4, similarly 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are basically 12 edges of a cuboid. Now let us see how many vertices does a cuboid has. So basically when two edges meet each other, three edges, sorry, when three edges meet each other, they form a corner, and we call a corner as vertex, and the plural of vertex is vertices. So here I am asking how many vertices does a cuboid has. So here you can see that here three edges are meeting each other to form a corner, and this corner is a vertex. So here is a one vertex, here is the second vertex, here is the third vertex, here is the fourth, here is the fifth, here is the sixth, here is the seventh, and here is in the background 8 vertex. So basically there are total 8 vertices. These numbers are same as of a cube. As I told you earlier, that cuboid is very much similar, just like a cube, but one is the difference. There is one difference. In a cube, all faces are equal in size, whereas in cuboid, only opposite faces are equal in size. So this is the only difference. Apart from that, all the characteristic features of a cube and cuboid are the same, right? Now, what is the shape of face in a cuboid? Some are rectangle and some can be squares. So in a cube, all faces are squares, but in a cuboid, some can be squares and some can be rectangular, right? Now move on. Let us see what are the examples of cuboid in real life. Our book is a very much good example of cuboid. Similarly, the brick, matchbox, your microwave oven, and your shoebox. These are the very common examples of cuboid. Now let us see what is a cylinder. Cylinder is basically, have you seen your cylinder, gas cylinder in your home? So let us see firstly, here is I have a cylinder. This is a very basic shape of a cylinder. Look at this given figure carefully. Here is a cylinder. Now answer the following questions. How many faces does the cylinder has? So when we let us have a detailed view of the cylinder. Here is the first face, which is the top surface of the cube cylinder. Here is the second surface, which is the bottom face of the cylinder, and here is the curved face of the cylinder, which is the third face. So our cylinder is having 3 faces. Now, how many edges does a cylinder has? I told you an edge is formed when two faces meet each other. Here you can see that two faces meet each other at this point, and secondly at this point. So it means a cylinder is having two edges. So first edge is there, and there is a second edge, and so we can see that a cylinder is having 2 edges. Similarly, how many vertices does a cylinder has? I told you a vertex is formed when 3 edges meet each other, and as we can see that none of the points are there where 3 edges are meeting. So it means there are no vertices in a cylinder. I'm repeating the point. A vertex is formed when 3 edges meet at each other to form a corner. And when a corner is formed, we call it a vertex. And vertex is basically the plural of vertex. Plural, for example, one is the vertex and two vertex, we call it vertices. So in a cylinder, there are no point where 3 edges meet each other. There are no corners, so we can say that there are no vertices in a cylinder. Let us see what are the examples of cylinder in real life. A candle is a very good example of cylinder. Similarly, your uh, electric cells, which you used in a remote and in different toys, is a very good example. Similarly, the your soft drinks can and the energy drink cans are very good example of cylinder. Similarly, your oil drums and water drums are very good example of cylinders. Similarly, your gas cylinders, which is commonly called a cylinder, is basically called cylinder because it is similar in shape of the cylinder. Now let us move to the other solid shape, which is cone. Look at the given figure carefully. It is a very much simple cone. And now answer the following questions regarding the cone. How many faces does a cone has? For answering these questions, let us have a detailed view of the cone. Here we can see that first face is the circular face and second face is at the bottom, which is flat. So a cone is having two faces. One is the circular face and uh, second is the basically flat face. How many edges does a cone has? Here we can see that as I told you earlier, an edge is formed. An edge is formed when two faces meet each other. So here you can see that two faces are meeting each other to form an edge. So here we are having only one edge. How many vertices does a cylinder has? Here is a question. I earlier told you a definition of vertex, but here a vertex cylinder because of the shape of the cone. Here a corner is formed. So we can here the definition of vertex changes. Here the corner is a vertex, so we can say that here is only one vertex in the cone. Now, let us see what are the examples of cone in real life. You have traveled on a motorway, and sometimes you can see that these stoppers at the motorway and national highways. So this is a good example of cone. Similarly, your birthday cap which you wear on your birthday is also an example of cone. Similarly, when you uh, put oil in some drum or in your motorbike, you use this funnel. This is also an example of cone. Similarly, the cone ice cream is also a good example of cone. Now move towards another solid shape. Here we having the sphere. Look at the given figure carefully. Here we having a sphere and it's a very common sphere. So answer the following questions. Can you tell me how many faces does a sphere has? For answering these questions, let us have a date view. Here we can see that a sphere is basically a curved a circular surface. It is almost having one face altogether. So we can see that a sphere is having only one face. How many edges does a sphere has? I told you earlier when two faces meet each other, they form an edge. As in a sphere, there are no more edges. There are no more faces. There is only one face. So we can say that there are no edges. Similarly, there are no vertices in a sphere. So a sphere is having only one face, no edges, and no vertices. So uh, now let us see what are the examples of our there of sphere in real life. Uh, you can see a sphere in the form of a football. Globe is a very good example of sphere. Similarly, your orange, apple, potato, tomato, more and more. There are plenty of examples of sphere in real life, and there are much to count. Now, let us recap what we have learned in today's lesson. Firstly, we have seen that shapes that occupy space are called solid shapes, and they are basically three-dimensional. And secondly, we have seen that a cube has six faces. Secondly, we have seen that there are many type of standard solid shapes. These are cube, cuboid, cylinder, cone, and a sphere. Then we have seen that a cube has six faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. And what was the unique feature? The unique feature was that all faces of a cube are of same shape and size, and they are basically square. In a cuboid, the face number of faces, edges, and vertices are the same as of a cube. It is also having six faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. But in a cuboid, the point is different. Is that the point of difference is that only opposite faces are of same shape and size, and some could be square shape, and some could be rectangular shape. Then we have seen that cylinder has three faces, two edges, and no vertices. And here, top and bottom faces are of same shape and size, which is circular. Then we have seen that a cone has two faces and one edge and no vertices, right? And sorry, one vertex. cone is having two faces, one edge and one vertex. Then we have seen that a sphere has only one face and it is having none of the vertices and edges. Does not have any one of them. It only has one face, which is curved and circular. Now, here's the time for your assignment. You're advised to solve these exercise in textbook and submit it in the form of scanned copies by tomorrow. So firstly, you will solve the exercise 10 seen on page number 116 to 117. And this was all with today's lesson. Thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz.